Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this short video about one of the most important philosophical books of the 20th century, namely Oswald Spengler's Der Untergang des Abendlandes, as it is translated into English, The Decline of the West. This book was first published in 1918 and then in a revised edition in 1922. Spengler's book is to this day a household name among intellectuals, yet it is rarely read or taught in academia. One reason for this may be that already during his lifetime, Spengler was an outsider. Born in 1880, he worked as a school teacher and then, thanks to an inheritance, he lived as a private intellectual, as a Privatgelehrter, until he died in 1936. The Decline of the West was a huge bestseller, selling more than 200,000 copies during Spengler's own lifetime. Well, one should not underestimate the jealousy of academics. Many of them attacked Spengler, but usually they focused on rather small and unimportant factual historical errors. However, Spengler's revolutionary idea could not and cannot be tackled by disagreeing about some detail. So what is Spengler's great idea? He claims that we have to change the way we think about world history. Since the Enlightenment, we have come accustomed to the idea that there is only one world history, its subject being mankind as such, and that this history is one of progression towards more knowledge, more freedom, more prosperity, and so on. But this view is utterly naive, according to Spengler. First of all, humanity is only a zoological term, or it is totally meaningless. The subject of history is thus not humanity as such, but certain peoples, or rather cultures. Cultures, however, cannot be understood in a mechanistic way, but only organically. Cultures are living beings, living entities, endowed with a specific life cycle that they must complete. They are born, they blossom, and eventually they die. We must look at cultures as living forms. The right philosophy of history, therefore, must be a morphology of world history, that is, a study of historical forms. With regard to his method, Spengler draws on Goethe, who introduced the term morphology to botany. With Goethe, Spengler claims that the organic logic of history can be discovered through sympathy, nachfühlen, observation, anschauen, comparison, Vergleich, and a phrase that is difficult to translate, die exakte sinnliche Fantasie, something like the exact sensual imagination. Using this method, one can discover what Spengler calls Gleichzeitigkeit, that is, the being simultaneous of certain periods of different self-enclosed cultures. He saw the Western world as being analogous to the Roman age. In a certain sense, we are the Romans. The idea that we are living in a time analogous to that of the Romans can be spelled out as follows. We are living in a civilization. The term civilization has a special meaning for Spengler. It signifies the last period in the life cycle of a culture. It is the, quote, organic logical sequence, fulfillment, and finale of a culture. So, in a sense, civilization is where a culture comes to die. Civilizations are characterized by the polarity between huge world cities and provinces. They are further characterized by soulless city dwellers, by decadence and the domination of money, and the lack of spiritual and artistic capacity to create new and truly beautiful forms. To understand the morphology of world history is thus to understand our own historical situation and the inevitability of our own fate. Is this not pessimism? Not according to Spengler. Quite the contrary. He believes that his philosophy of history gives us the necessary tools to gain a realistic understanding of our own position in time. No need to whine or feel sorry for ourselves. We are still supposed to make the best of the time that we have, and we can only do so if we are not ignorant about history and the destiny of cultures and of our own culture in particular. There is a lot more to be said about Spengler's The Decline of the West. For example, and especially, his outright acceptance of historical relativism, which, in a mind boggling twist, incorporates universalism. Each historical culture is a self enclosed organic being, and its life principle is relative only to itself. The same is supposed to be true about our own age. But what makes our culture special is the fact that it was able to truly think historically, that is, to develop a morphology of world history, or rather, the morphology of world history. I leave you with this mind bending self application of relativism. Thanks for watching.